Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I hope you're doing well, and I'm so happy that you're here with me at my channel to help me make a new project. So today we are using the Delicate Dahlias Stamp Set. It is a celebration stamp set, which means it is completely free, and you get it by making purchases. So if you spend money, Stampin' Up says, "Thank you so much for spending $100. Here, why don't you take this stamp set as a token of our appreciation?" How awesome is that? Nothing's better than celebration, and this is our second celebration this year. So for August and September, you get to pick out of this catalog, and the minimum spend is $50, and for every $50 thereafter, you can buy another thing under $50, but there are two that are $100 levels, and this is one of them. And I just wanted to show you how beautiful it is, because I just don't think that it does it justice, the images that are in this brochure. So I wanted to bring you a few more so that you'd have a little bit more to figure out. Now, we're also using something called soft pastels, and they are some chalks that are artist quality. And let me pull this plastic off the top of them. We're going to be using these two colors here. As you can see, they're scraped nicely. I have scraped those off, and I have placed them into these little mini jars that I have saved from embossing powder, because when I get my embossing powder, I save the jars that they come in, because I like to put my embossing powder into these little Sistema containers. To me, they're a lot easier when you have this to put your stuff into rather than this teeny tiny jar. So I save these to do lots of things with them, and this is one of the things that I am using them for. So we have Coastal Cabana, and then we have Gorgeous Grape, which is this color right here, which is in this little jar. Same scenario also for another color of embossing powder. So we're going to be using those today. I'm going to show you how it all works. So we're going to make this a beautiful card. Let me show you that. Here it is. Isn't it pretty? I love it. I love these little iridescent jewels that are on there, and of course this precious bumblebee. So we're going to be using the bumblebee trinkets for the bumblebee. Aren't they cool? You get quite a little assortment. We're going to be using these soft pastels. We're going to be using the 2021 to 2023 in color jewels. You can see how much I love them, because quite a few of them are missing, right? We're going to be using this color here. I'll put those out of the way temporarily. And we're going to be using the Highland Heather ink pad. So in order to get our chalk, I hope you're familiar with the Take Your Pick tool. It's the best $10 you will ever spend in the catalog. It is amazing. I use it every single day, almost on every single card. And we're going to be using that today. You have this pointy tool, but if you open this on the other side, it locks in place here. See that little lock unlock? There is this little spatula, and that is what I used to scrape me some color. So let me show you. I just dip this down in here and lift out my pastel, and I'm going to just scrape, and you will get some powder, and it's going to go into the bottom of your little jar here. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and switch colors here. When we switch colors, I'm just going to use that foam there and wipe that off, and grab my Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my little spatula, and I'm just going to scrape, scrape, scrape. It kind of has a little coating on it, so once you get it started though, it's super easy to scrape. And so we're just going to grab us some more of this Gorgeous Grape and deposit it into our jar. And then again, I will wipe onto the foam piece that it comes with to keep these from breaking, right? So let's go ahead and put the cover on there and slide this puppy right on in here. So this is how they come when you buy them. They come in, let's see, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade. Beautiful colors. I hope that you are interested and They're very low price point. So we can go ahead and switch this back because I use this side way more than I use the other side, but I'm telling you, the best little tool, right? So let's go ahead and get started. So we have a half sheet of cardstock, which is what I tend to use for all of my projects, is a half sheet. This time I have cut it down the 11-inch length down the center at 5.5 inches. So this is 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And I'm gonna go ahead and fold it in half to make the base of my card. I'm gonna use my bone folder to help me. Once I have that in place, I use that to push. And then there is my card base. So we're gonna start with some Highland Heather ink. I'm gonna grab this little scrap paper, bring it into place because I'm going to be stamping, and as you can see, my flowers don't all float in the center of my card, they go off the edge. So that is kind of a trick to help your eye be pulled to the center of your card. So we're going to go ahead and ink up our flower, make sure it's nice and inked. This is a solid image, but the cool thing about it is you're going to get variegation. So we're going to go ahead and push it down in this corner, and when we lift, you get lights and darks. Isn't it stunning? This stamp set is so beautiful. I'm in love with it. Let's put one down here a lot lower because we don't want them to be all the same, right? We're gonna kind of change it up a little. Let's put this one right here. Give it a nice pressure. Fabulous. We'll put another one down like this. Give it a nice press. We'll put another one in this corner and then we'll be done with this Highland Heather ink pad for the moment. So that is the base of our card. That's what forms this background that we have here. We're going to be doing this, but I'm going to use a different ink for that. We're also going to put one of these guys in the center here. So let's go ahead and ink it up one more time. Not in the center, in the corner. Right here. So I'm going to ink it up one more time, and I'm going to kind of push that in the corner so when you open you have a little bit of that dahlia peeking out at you. Isn't it just the most beautiful stamp set? I think it's so pretty. I'm going to close the ink pad for now so that I do not get ink all over me, because if I were to leave it open, most inevitably I would. So let's go ahead and clean off our stamp here. There we go, nice and clean. We will use this image in a minute. I'm gonna flip this paper over because this dye ink is kind of wet and I don't want it to affect this piece that I'm gonna be using. Now this is my background, and you see that's gonna go right on top there. Just set that off to the side. And then I have a piece of white, basic white ink that I am going to stamp with. I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to use this Versamark ink pad. And what Versamark is kind of like a watermark. So when you stamp this down, you're really not going to see it so good, which is kind of hard in the beginning until you get used to it. You're going to have to use the light in your room to help you out. So we're going to go ahead and ink this up just like we did with the other. And I'm going to press this dahlia right here in the center of my piece. Perfect. And I'm going to lift it up. Now, I know you can't see it. I'm going to try and show it to you, but I know that it may not pick up, but trust me, it is there. We are going to ink up, we're going to grab our purple dauber. This is a sponge dauber that I've designated for the gorgeous grape color, and we scrape some in here, right? So we're going to go ahead and push our dauber in here and press down, and then I am going to get the parts that are left over that are not clinging to my dauber, just kind of shake them back into the little container. I'm going to start in the center, and I'm just going to push down, and I'm going to work my way around until this dahlia starts showing up. And if there was no ink there, there would be no dahlia. So I'm gonna give it a little brush from the center out, and get all my petals to show, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit more and start again in the center, work my way around my petals, and I'm gonna start pushing this color around my image. See how pretty that is? Oh my God, it's so gorgeous. So now I'm gonna take the excess and kind of pat it down. I'm then gonna take my paper here and try and pour the rest back in here as best I can. And the parts that don't go, they just don't live there, okay? We're gonna cover that purple one up. Gorgeous grape. And then I'm gonna take a rag, which I keep next to me at all times. It's my ink rag, and I'm just gonna kind of clean up. Oops, I've moved my blog site off of there, okay? Now this piece here was attached when we stamped, so that's not coming up, but for the most part, I've gotten most of that color up. Now I'm also gonna use it on here, and I'm gonna press down. And then I have this awesome little eraser. It's mechanical, which I love. See, it spins. And I'm gonna deposit it here in between these petals and try and get most of that chalk away from it. I have to lay it on its side to get in between here really well. Just like that. All right, I think I got most of it off. Okay. Again, I'm gonna use my... All right, so now we have our next color, right? So let's move on to that one. So this still has the Versamark on it. We don't have to clean it because it has no color, right? We're gonna just go right back across. And this time we're gonna put a dahlia right here. I think I'm gonna use a different side. So I'm gonna use this one right there. And then I'm gonna pick it up. It's kind of a sticky ink, as you notice. And I'm gonna put one right here. It's much easier to stamp once your purple one has been set up because you know where you're going and you're not overlapping them, which is why I went ahead and did the first color first. So we're done with this Versamark temporarily. I'm just gonna move it out of the way. And this I'm gonna go ahead and clean up. Clean it in the same stamp scrubber that you clean everything else. There we go, nice and clean. All right, so now we're gonna take our dauber with our Coastal Cabana and our little Coastal Cabana jar. I'm gonna pick up some color. I'm gonna do the same thing. This time we can hold here. And we're gonna just try and get all those petals to show themselves for us before we start brushing this. I forgot to shake some of this off. Remember I said shake it off in the jar, and I didn't do that. So before I spread any more of this on the paper, I'm gonna try and, there we go, put it back inside. I got a little carried away there. I forgot to shake it off, but we're gonna go ahead and rub this in. Now that we have it attached here, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick up from this side since I forgot and I made a mess. I'm gonna pick up as much as I can. We'll start on this side, hold in the middle of the purple flower and daub down. I'm gonna need a little more, and I'm actually gonna remember this time to tap. Let's grab a little bit more and daub, and then we can start brushing over the top like so. so beautiful. This is a lighter color, I guess. Maybe that was a happy mistake that I put too much, right? We can just keep adding. You don't have to get out of hand. And you want to go ahead and get all that beautiful, I think we got the lighter part of the flower. See how we have a lighter and a darker part of the flower. So this one just happens to be the lighter as I rotated them around. But that looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and cover this up. Move my dauber out of the way. Bring out my happy sponge. And I'm going to go ahead and rub that. Rub this as well. And I'm going to pick this up off of my surface. Same way. All right, let's move this out of the way. I'm going to grab my eraser and see if I need to, maybe just there. I think I did much better on this one. The purple was a lot more messy. Well, of course, it was a larger piece, right? So this one also looks good already. I don't think we need very much in here. I think it looks pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead. And that is our piece. We're going to go ahead and mount it on top of this. So let's turn it over. We're going to use our Stampin' Seal. We're going to put a line on that side and a line on this side. And we're going to go ahead and attach it. It has a border all the way around, like so. Looks good to me. Let's go ahead and stamp the You Inspire Me. Ink that up. And this will go right here in this little crack between these two colors of flowers. Looks good to me. Now, you can see the color changes as it dries and soaks into the paper, so it will change slightly. We're done with this ink, so I'm going to go ahead and put it away. I'm going to clean my stamp. Put that away also. Gotta love that. Clean up after yourselves, right? All right, so now this is gonna get attached onto our card front on this side right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it upside down. Use my same adhesive. Let's get it started. There we go. One on one side, one on the other. And this is going to go a little bit to the right. Looks like I cut this card a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it with my paper trimmer. Make it the right size here. That looks pretty good to me. All right, so there's that. Now let's go ahead and attach our embellishments. So we're going to be using the little bumblebee trinket. So I'm going to grab one of those out of my container here. And these are mini glue dots. There's one right there, and I'm going to grab that onto the back of my bumblebee, press it down, and then I'm going to lift. Oops, it didn't stick. Let's try again. Come on, work for me. There we go. Did we not? There it is. Okay, you can see that on the camera. And then we're going to go ahead and deposit our bee onto this flower right there. We're done with those. We only need one of those. And then we're going to use these purple. They're actually fresh freesia, and they're kind of iridescent and pretty. We are going to grab our Take Your Pick tool. Like I said, I use this all the time, guys. We're going to use the putty end. So we're going to grab one of these large ones. I'm going to place it down here. And then let's put a small one here. And then I'm going to attach, actually, I'm going to put the small one here. I'm going to do another large one right there. That looks beautiful. All right. We can put these guys back in their packaging so that they don't get messed up or ruined. And then the final step is going to be the ribbon. So let's go ahead and attach that. I'm just going to tie it around the card. It's our sheer pool party ribbon. I think it's really pretty. And I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot. Like so. And go ahead and pull that. And then I'm going to trim the ends. Now I have a special scissor that I use for my ribbon. It is a paper snip, but I only use it for ribbon, and I signified it by putting a little charm that hangs on the end. So I'm going to use that and trim this edge right here and this edge right here. And there is our card with our dahlia in the corner on the inside. I hope that you enjoyed watching me create this card. I really appreciate that you watch me. I'm fairly new to YouTube, so if you don't mind helping me out, like, comment, share, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. And then ask your friends to subscribe too. They may be interested, and when you subscribe, you're going to get notifications of when I post new videos. Check out my blog, inkyhandswarmhearts.com. The link is in the description below, and when you go there, you can access PDFs and measurements and lots more fun projects. I do blog every single day. I've been blogging over a year, so there is a lot of content on there for you. I hope that you enjoyed my video. Thank you again for watching. I am very grateful to have you, and have a wonderful day or evening where you are. Happy stamping, guys. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. See you later.